Today we're going to talk about some of the capabilities of the Horizon H1 software, um, some of the new features, and what it can do for you. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump in this here seat. We're going to open up the Lua chat. We're going to type go to space, and I have some coordinates already pre-selected in here. And we're going to hit well, we're not going to do that yet. I want to go on the outside view. There we go, so you can see it clearly. All right, so go ahead, enter, boom. Now, I'm not doing any flying, obviously, because I'm looking sideways at this thing. And it's going to go to this here waypoint that I've set up in this. And this is kind of useful if you have, if you do recurring trips, you know, say from your base to your space station, and you don't necessarily want to use the elevator because you want to go somewhere else afterwards or whatnot. It's kind of a short range go-to function. It's not meant to navigate around the planet or whatnot unless you can do it in straight lines. I suppose you could do it that way. But this will run you up to, you know, wherever the point is that you've set. Yeah, it can be in the atmosphere as well. It's just, you know, you got to be careful that there's no obstructions in your path because that'll never turn out well. And while this is doing its flying, you'll notice that there's a menu on the left side of the screen, right? It starts with press R to toggle the menu. There's a couple of different things in there. We'll just start with those right off the bat. So altitude hold, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's activated by the key B. And what that does, it'll hold you at the altitude you are on a planet. So as you're flying around, it'll try to maintain that altitude. Now, of course, it's limited to the capabilities of the ship and how fast you're going. I mean, the faster you go, the more capabilities the ship requires in order to keep you at that altitude. So if the ship like this can traverse around the about 6,000 meters, it's roughly, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 kilometers an hour before it can't maintain that hold anymore. Inertial dampening, what that does is basically it tries to keep the ship moving in the direction that you want it to, that you're facing it. So if you, like I'm going forward now, it's not going to let the ship move to the right or the left. So as you can see, these engines are firing. Oh, dang, we're here already. That was quick. All right, so let's see how close we can get to this point before we come to a stop. Now, of course, it's the ship doing its thing all by itself. I mean, it's pretty much in there. Not sure what 63 meters is, but it looks dead center to me. Anywho, we'll continue on with our little talk about the altitude or the menu here on the left. So inertial dampening, basically, it like what it's doing right now. It's not letting the ship move, right? It's toggling the brakes. You can see them toggling right now. It's got a rear space engine firing to maintain its altitude currently. And you can see we're moving, you know, basically nowhere. 0.01 of a kilometer an hour. That's, you know, nothing. All right, so Vtol Priority. Inertial dampening is activated by pressing Alt-1 and deactivated by pressing Alt-1. Inertial dampening, Vtol Priority. What that does is it prioritizes things like wings and ailerons and, you know, those lifting mechanisms other than engines, so that you can save some fuel. So if you have downward firing engines, which all Horizon or Shadow Templar ships, you will have downward facing engines. It'll turn those off, and not necessarily off, but it'll prioritize the wings, so it won't use the engines unless it absolutely needs to. Gravity follow. It follows the gravity of the planet, so it's very similar to altitude hold, but the gravity of the planet it's not a flat sphere, from what I've been told. So either way, they seem to work pretty similar to me, especially in conjunction with each other. They work really well. Gravity suppression, what that does is it suppresses gravity. Basically, it allows you to float. Without gravity suppression on, the ship would just fall to the ground. We'll go ahead and go into the menu here. All right, so you got a throttle mode. You can set the increments of the how many percentages you want or how you want the throttle to scale. So as you can see down to the center of the console there's a throttle 0%. If it sets what percentages that rolls through as you scroll the mouse wheel. And of course, mouse steering, pretty obvious. The flight mode to choose between keyboard and mouse. Stability assist. These are all the things that we talked about earlier, right? Gravity suppression, gravity follow, inertial dampening. Turn them off in here if you want to do it manually. All right, vector locking. There's a number of these. Okay, so basically the two important ones the ones I use normally is anti-radial and radial. Wait a minute, is that right? Yeah. Oh, prograde and retrograde. There we go. These are basically facing the way you're flying and facing the opposite direction of your flying. So if you wanted to hit the brakes or whatever and do an engine brake, you can do it this way. And you can unlock it by doing this, or you can just, move the any directional key will also unlock it. Then we have a Planetary B Lock. This allows you to point at any planet, regardless of your, flight path. You're still going to continue to go in the same direction. If you're going really fast and all of a sudden you push this, it's going to point towards that planet and eventually turn and start heading that way. And this can also be broke by, up and down directional keys. And then the ship status doesn't want to tell me what it is. I'm having difficulties. Okay, well, my throttle seems to be functioning just fine. All right, so I wonder why it's not going. It's not liking me now. Hates me. In any case, we'll continue on. So to adjust the throttle, right, you just oh, there we go. Now it wants to do stuff. Okay, ship status. Oh, doesn't want to do it now. Still doesn't want to do it. Okay, so to adjust throttle is rolling the mouse wheel forward to get throttle, right? Or rolling it back to get reverse throttle. And it's the same for cruise mode, except for you're setting the speed, both forward and reverse, right? And if you click the mouse button, it'll set to the default atmospheric top speed. If you click it again, it'll go to 0. And then throttle mode, which is Alt 6, by the way, that's how I'm toggling back and forth. If you click it, it'll go to 0. If you click it again, it'll go to 100%. Right? So that's how that works. I guess, let's see here. What else can I show you? All right, so there's some stuff we can do down in the atmosphere. So let's head back down to the planet surface here. Boom. Whoopsie. All right. We'll set our speed at about 550 or so. Get on down there. Now I'm probably going to start to break around 11 or 12 kilometers from the surface at this speed. The ship is, really capable of doing that. Matter of fact, most of them are capable of stopping around the 10-kilometer mark. From this speed, at least. And what I'm going to do is when I get down here to about 12 kilometers or so, I'm going to just click the middle mouse button to set the default speed to 1050. Oh, somebody flying around. Where'd he go? He's hauling ass. But I can go a little bit faster. There he goes. All right, back to the base. All right, so we're going to talk about the landing, soft landing mode. And let's see here. Let's get into position to do it. See? A little bit of overshoot there. Alright, so all you do is hit the G button, and you'll see the landing gear pop down, and it's going to start descending on its own. We're going to help it out here because it's a little bit slow. Alright. Boom. There, we're good. Now, of course, most people have seen the auto docking, or not auto docking, but the auto precision parking piece where you use elevator software to move it into its exact location. And I'll go ahead and do that for you, I guess. Why not, right? So if you have a need to park this in a specific location because you have a limited space or whatnot, just hit it. Did I hit it? There we go. So you can see now it's moving to where it belongs on the landing pad. Now, of course, you got to make sure you have a clear path because it doesn't really care what's in the way. Boom, we're there. All right. And that pretty much concludes my demonstration of what the Horizon 1 software can do and what it's all about. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask away down below. All right. Thank you for your time.